Hello everyone, this is Basket News Talks. I'm the host Lukas Malinauskas, and today here in Belek, in a huge Gloria resort, we have Žalgiris coach Andrea Trinchieri. Thank you, coach, first of all, for joining us. How are you doing?
Pre-season. It's always too long and always too short. So we have to do it, but you prefer, or at least I prefer, official games and all this thing. But it's a good moment to learn your players, because you can do all the homework that you want, you can have all the intel, but until you don't have the players in your gym, you won't know exactly how to help him, how to push him, and what to do with him.
How do you feel about the whole process so far, having those all pieces together?
I'm experienced enough to don't judge. I judge the effort, that it's good. I judge the commitment, but the performances or the individual ranking of the players, it's something that it needs more time.
Talking about off-season, heading into that after the tough loss in LKL, what are the ways you try to relax, clean your minds after the tough season?
If you know the way, I don't know the way. I always focus on the next thing to do, after a win or after a loss. So there's not a lot of time off. I can take some moments off or during the day, but there is no one day that I don't think about what I have to do, how I have to do it, what can I improve, or what will be the next thing. Thinking about what will be the next thing that can be efficient.
Talking about those changes heading into the off-season, what were your thoughts? What the team needs to change, and how to try to find the success in the next season after that?
I believe that you're a little bit unaware of the EuroLeague market in this moment. Okay, so it's not that I have to decide what I have to change. I have to, first of all, see what free agents I can sign. Because every year, the situation is worse. There are big teams that are cannibalizing the market, giving huge contracts to great players, and there is, for us, a big problem is the NIL, that it's something that it's going to impact a level of players that could be very interesting for Žalgiris, because, for example, I don't know, but there are more than 20, 30 Lithuanian young players playing in college and making big money. And so we try to, without looking the position, we try, without looking anything else, then try to find players with some skills, and then when you have the full roster, you decide what to do.
You mentioned actually kind of hot topic about those young prospects transferring to NCAA. Do you see that as a big issue to European basketball? How would you comment?
Big issue?
Yeah.
Huge issue. This is impacting a lot the market, because it's reducing the range of the market. Because as a team, we could think to risk and invest on a young, talented player, knowing that there will be growing pains, knowing that not everything will be smooth, and that a young player will need time, and more than time, he will need to do mistakes in order to be a pro. He needs to learn through mistakes. And now with this NIL money, they all go to the States, okay. The thing is that because it just started, Now giving big money to a 18, 19, 20 years old kid, it's a little bit complicated because when you are paid so much, you have to deliver. And I'm happy for them, but I'm a little bit concerned about the learning process. And also in the past, in the last years, NCAA players were not ready to play right away, plug and play, for example, tough European competitions, because the level of contact, the level of requirements, the level of reads was very high. Is very high, sorry. And now, from one side, they are big pros. From the other end, they are young players, inexperienced player, with some lacks, because nobody's ready to play at 20 years old and like at 30 years old. So, and this is something that we will see the impact of this in 3-4 years. And this is the reason why the EuroLeague is the oldest league in the world. There are players with 30, 39, 38, 37 still playing big roles because everybody's trying to, every team, every coach, every GM is trying to reduce the risk of hiring a young, talented player that will require a lot of time to develop and to bloom, time that we don't have.
Probably in the open practice to the media, you mentioned that clubs being fish and sharks in the free agency,
yes.
Depending on the budgets. Could you just share, your some of the out of the box ideas when you had, to build this Žalgiris roster?
Barracuda. It's a very fast, not big, but fast with good jaws. That usually big fishes are trying to avoid him. He's not strong, he's not powerful, but he's quick and strong, and let's say with kind of personality, So I don't want to be eaten right away. I know that I cannot be the big fish, but at least I want to have some personality.
Oi, tu mano bičiuli, ko tu turbūt mažiausiai nori, kas susijęs su komfortišku gyvenimu, tai būti nepasiekiamu, jau net nekalba apie tokią mintį, bet ir, pavyzdžiui, net nepasiekti basketnews.lt. Kaip, pavyzdžiui, dabar išvykus į Turkiją sublokuojamas dėl nesaugaus mobilaus operatoriaus. Jau net nekalbu, kai naršant internete ryšys šakinėja nuo 4G iki 3G. Kalbant apie reikalus Lietuvoje, mūsų partneris Telia rūpinasi klientų ramybę tiek dėl pasiekiamumo, tiek dėl naršymo, siūlo 5G ryšį, kuris dengia ne 95% Lietuvos. Su Telia 5G ramu. Dabar gali įsirinkti bet kokį planą pagal savo poreikius, be ilgalaikių įsipareigojimų ir dar su nuolaidėlė. Telia.lt.
Igno Brazdeikis returns to Žalgiris after his not success with the Olympiacos.
Guys, you love to talk about success of the others.
Us?
Yeah, you guys from the media love to talk about the success of the others. I don't care if you try to judge my success. I really don't care because I know what it takes and I know what are the things that are under my control. But talking about Iggy, I read it, he had a rough and tough season. And talking about success, I believe that nobody deserves to have a sticker like this, he didn't have success. Okay, was not the season he expected. Was not the season that Olympiacos expected from him. But at the end of the day, the only thing that players want is an opportunity. And he didn't have much opportunities. His fault, I don't know, could be, but it's not important, I believe, when you judge somebody, thing that I try to don't do, as whose fault? I believe that he didn't have a lot of opportunities, and I'm very hard on him because I want to shake the rust of him. But what I'm going to give him are opportunities. So it's always a little bit painful to see success, failure. Okay, I know, clickbaiting, I know that you have to say something that can, I would say, condense the attention to a topic, I understand, but still, before talking about a player, you talk about a human being.
Sure, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, yeah, a rough stint or rough year probably is a better phrase, to wrap up what Iggy had there. But talking about his potential, what stood out to you and how it can be utilized, to him to be?
I don't know yet. I will be honest. He has some sparkles, but I'm trying to learn what he can do on daily basis. For sure, he's a gamer, and for sure, he's better when there is a competition than there is a practice. So this is something that is very clear to me. I believe that there will be some bumps, like at the beginning, some tough moments. His expectation, the past year, the team needs, but I believe that he's going to find a way and to be efficient and useful.
We see Bryanto Dunstono's leadership from the very beginning. We see him leading the team onto the court, even he's not in the starting lineup. How could you describe his role, and was this this leadership that you lacked last year to have a veteran like this, like Bryanto?
No, this is nothing compared to the last year. It's not related to that. Okay. It's the thing that we have a lot of rookies for the EuroLeague, and we have young players with talent, okay? And I just need another player that won EuroLeague, that has been in different locker rooms, with different system, different stars, to help the development of the team chemistry, to have a clear role, to help us to become tougher, and to do the right thing at the right moment. When I use a Serbian expression, when the water enters your ears, that when it's clutch time, And I will be very honest, I wanted somebody close to Birutis to help him to make the last steps to become a big player.
You were about to add another player, Rokas Jokubaitis. To that, you and Žalgiris changed the model, having like 14 players right now on the roster. And when it seemed, guard lineup seemed to be completed, the Rokas was, in negotiation with Žalgiris. What was the idea, to have him in case, if he joined the team, Rokas, and how would you describe, the whole process with Rokas?
Rokas, player that I like a lot, chose a different path. Okay. The thing was to have a very strong of Lithuanian players and try to make starters, EuroLeague starters of Lithuanian players. And then I never spoke with Rokas because the club was speaking to him, because he is a Kaunas kid, He's not a kid anymore, but he was.
Still young. Still young.
Still young. So there was long negotiation, and I never took part of this. Then mid of July, during the Summer League in Vegas, they asked me to talk to him, to explain what I would need from him. And at that moment, I've understood everything. Usually, if you are in a negotiation, you want to know the system and your role at the beginning of the negotiation, not at the end. So I felt in that moment that would be a no-go. And to tell you the truth, I respect the will of a professional. Jokubaičiu is a pro player and decided to go elsewhere. I wish him all the best, and I cannot occupy with that. It's something that is out of my control. And I believe that we've been talking too much for something that didn't happen.
Talking about that free agency, what stood out the most? Which move you could emphasize and you say you were surprised?
I don't know. We will see at the end of the season.
But when we're talking about free agency, it seemed to be completed after teams who finished their rosters. But then Sėdės man move, we see Fournier. Is it something that surprised you somehow that those NBA caliber players comes here and then those powerhouses even add those players?
A little bit surprised, but now I won't be surprised anymore. Now rosters of 17 with every player can be a starter in another team. So I believe there will be a lot of movements within the season, because now that you can trade players, not in a window, but let's say until February, something like this, I believe it's something that teams took in consideration. And but I believe this is, to me, is very clear. It's like that we are at the Colosseo in Rome, with gladiators, in the arena, and for us it's better to see the 2, 3, 4, 5 biggest and strongest gladiator fight and try to find our moment, because if we go face to face against these powerhouses, it will be tough.
During Žalgiris anniversary event, Arvydo Sabonio expressed his wish for Žalgiris, to make it to Final Four in the next 5 years.
Yes.
How do you see having this free agency things and the let's say market of EuroLeague? How do you see chance of Žalgiris to make it, to Final Four, being one of the low budget teams, and find the way to?
If you don't dream, you don't live. Nobody can take away my dreams. So, if I have to be rational, logic, I can dream. I still want to dream. I just remember one thing. I want to keep in mind this. There are a lot of amazing teams, but only one will raise the trophy. And this is something that there will be a lot of unsatisfied teams. I don't want to be one of these. Can I say that if we don't win, if we don't go to the Final Four, we won't be happy? No. We won't be happy if we didn't do whatever we could to reach our maximum potential. To fight as a team, night in, night out, and moreover to be able to regroup and bounce back from the losses, because there are going to be losses for all the teams.
Talking about your chapter, there's another chapter in your career with Žalgiris. What's your personal ambition, with Žalgiris? What you want to reach, what mark you want to leave, after this chapter closes?
I try to evolve, because the species that are not able to evolve died. So I want to evolve as a human being and as a coach. It's true, my job is a journey, okay, with a lot of stations. I won't make compromise about my core values, and I tried to do something very different this year. I tried to create or think about better, because I didn't create it yet, a different system of playing, a different system of using players. That was not because I had this in mind, but the roster that we could afford and we could put together, more than afford, I would say we could put together, is showing me the direction that I have to change. So energy, physicality, less structure, more commitment, why I say less structure, more commitment? Because modern players, or players of these generations, whatever you ask, they're going to try to do it. But they will lose a little bit in being energetic and being tough. Because the game that I love, that is read and react, it's like Jurassic. Okay, it costs a lot of kilobytes to the software of the players. And you see perfectly players when they are on the court thinking or what they have to do. We don't have this luxury, because 1 second you win a EuroLeague in 1 second. You win titles in 1 second. So I'm trying to have a little bit less of this, to have more of the things that are mandatory to stay on the court and win games. So I am willing to evolve and to be the best version of myself without betraying my core values.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. That was a pleasure to talk to you.